let's talk about. I think before we do a build-up of this particular match, let's talk about what's happening in the women's test match. You saw the knock yesterday, Shefali Verma's like, oh, dude, it was so much fun to watch as a cricket fan.
Yeah, and I was live streaming on YouTube at that point, and I said कि अरे the girls are playing very well. हम फटाफट उनके score के पास पहुंच जाएंगे. The possibility of a result if we get them out quickly. And as soon as the stream ended, 4 wickets fell in 10 overs. So it's because of me that we lost all those wickets.
And Heather Knight pulling a Joe Root with her off spin.
Yeah.
You're like, yeah. But great knock. I also like. I think there was some people pointed out there's some nice village moments also where she went for that swing and everybody missed and went for 4, etc.
Yeah.
But Bharat, I asked, how do you rate the knock yesterday? And a really fun partnership. Like they took their time with it. They batted out the first 10 overs. I think at that point, their strike rate was about probably 30, 40 or something. And then it just shot up. I asked, what do you think of how they did yesterday?
No, I think the first, that Jugalbandi was absolutely fantastic to watch between Smriti Mandhana and Shefali Verma. And what preceded Shefali's, debut, in the sense getting into the test squad also must be remembered. There was a lot of pressure on her. There were lots of people saying, she is a limited overs or a white ball specialist, and let's not get her into test cricket. And so that's the best way to silence critics, whether you're a male cricketer or a female cricketer, is go out there and make runs. And she did it in fantastic style. But what's happened, and this has been the pattern over both days actually, first 2 days of the match we've seen, wickets falling in the last hour.
Yeah.
But India have lost too many wickets, 187 for 5. England still ahead by 200 plus. So it's a dicey situation for India despite that 167 run opening partnership. So India really have some, Harmanpreet Kaur is there, so you can't write off India, but she'll have to bat out of her skin, I think, in this match.
Yeah. Bharat?
Yeah, I mean, I generally I'm not a big fan of that comment, right? What were you doing when you were 17? Because I really don't want to telling people what I was doing at 17. But after watching Shefali Verma, you actually think about it. You think about, wow, how can she do this at 17, right? And it's not just playing a test match. I mean, there have been so many others. Smriti Mandhana was also around a similar age when she made her test debut many years ago. But just the audacity, I mean, just standing there with her bat over her shoulder, which has become like a trademark already, and taking on someone like Catherine Brunt. Like, remember how excited we were when Rishabh Pant reverse swept Jimmy Anderson? This is seriously maybe even more audacious than that. You're making your debut. Catherine Brunt was playing test cricket before Shefali Verma was born. That rarely happens. And, to take her on, and you could see a lot of the English players, just the shock and awe on their faces when they saw the way she was playing. And look, I think she did take some chances. Like Ayaz sir said, she comes with this reputation of being a limited overs player. But she took chances, but every time she tried to clear the infield, you could see that there was a plan. She wasn't just andhadhun, just swinging her bat. So, which is what you really need to admire. And some of those shots, especially, generating that kind of bat speed to a length ball and hitting it past gully, it takes incredible skill, yeah. And for someone so young, and of course, this is 2021. So a press conference quote that became popular after that was how she used to indulge in 6 hitting competitions with her brothers for 15 rupees. But, it was just an incredible debut, and Smriti Mandhana is she's a treat on the eye, right? I'm so glad that the Indian women are playing one test match, and then there's another one at the WACA in Perth. I can't wait to go to Perth and watch, especially Smriti Mandhana live. Yeah, she's just so good to watch.
Yeah, it was great. I just I was going through some of the stats of women's test matches, and the number or percentage of draws. I don't know if it's because it's 4 days or if they're playing on flat pitches or whatever it is. But it seems like if you're having a test match, might as well try and make sure that there's a result, right? Like you want to give them the best possible conditions to ensure that happens. Ayaz, Sangat, what do you think?
I think the major problem is because there hasn't been so many test matches also. Like post 2000, they have done 30 test matches. And this is where cricket has significantly changed in terms of results being bringing in. So if you look at India's record, we have won the last 3 test matches we played in. The only problem is the third last one is in 2007. So that's the big problem.
Yeah, I mean, statistics can sometimes beguile you or fool you, because if the matches have been played so far, so few and in between, it's difficult to get enough database to say, oh, the approach is very defensive or not. And so look, between 2007 or 2010 and 2021, even in the men's cricket, there's been so much of an evolution as to how players approach the game, especially with the influence of T20. So I'm sure that's going to happen even in women's cricket, and it is already happening. I mean, Shefali Verma is what the female version of Virendra Sehwag, as is being touted. So very exciting to watch. Young, and she's going to become. I think she's got that star quality in her. It's very evident. And these are the players who will draw in the crowds as we go ahead.
I most enjoyed the attitude because they seemed like they were having fun after the first 10 overs. Like once I think the first shot over the infield happened, they're like, "Acha, chalo, abhi chalu hai apna." Like this is like we're good to go. And it's always exciting to watch like somebody completely out of context in the version of a test match, right? Where you're like, oh, they're going to play it out and bat at 35 strike rate, which is also obviously a massive scale. But to completely wait for it and then go that way is quite extraordinary. But I got to take a couple of super chats popping in. Again, if you want any questions to be asked of our panelists, please go ahead and do a super chat. I will try and ask even normal questions. And like de do ek baar agar mood lag raha hai to. We'll also talk about the game. I think, I don't know what the updates with Reina, but I think it's still raining as far as...
I think in between, say.
हाँ, बोल. No, go ahead.
वही Southampton Port वाला ही बोल रहा था मैं. They have, I think, posted कि cricket fans from India, it's raining here and will keep raining the whole day. Just stop asking about it.
So we have plenty of other things to talk about. Rahul Nuthaki, thanks for your super chat. He asks, Bharat, thoughts on Sophia Dunkley's innings? Many innings in one, looked every bit a test player, future star.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. And like I was reading Izzy Westbury, who used to play cricket at county level. Now she's a wonderful journalist, and he's been writing more about Indian women's cricket than any other journalist, I must add as well. And she was quoted 6 years ago saying that I would eat my hat if she doesn't play Test cricket. Sophia Dunkley, that is. She's so talented, and just see what she represents as well, right? Like the first black woman to play Test cricket for England, and that comes with a lot of weightage, especially in 2021, where there's been so much talk about race in the UK, especially, as we've heard. And like Shefali Verma, she just looked like she belonged, right? And it was that, like Ayaz sir said, it was that star quality, just the natural enjoyment, right? Like when she was batting and she walked into bat when they had to bat for stumps, they were losing wickets at the other end. The next morning, she was in that partnership with Anya Shrubsole yesterday morning, and she showed her complete array of strokes. And even on the field, she was diving around. You could see that she was really enjoying being out there. And those kind of cricketers are the ones who again, not to compare her with a women cricketer with a men cricketer, but Rishabh Pant and the likes, right? Like guys people just who enjoy being out there. They enjoy the occasion. Those are the ones who have like great careers and entertained for a long time. So she is also right up there with Shefali Verma.
And her grip is also very unusual. I remember the commentators discussing there's just too much gap between her two hands, and they were expecting her to score only on the leg side. But she had such great cover drives and then the one straight drive, I think just before lunch.
It's like Peter Hanscom, right? Someone compared it. I think Isa Guha compared her. Peter Hanscom does a lot of other things in his stance, which thankfully she doesn't. But I mean, it's all hands, right? And I'm sure Ayaz sir is a better judge on this than I am. There are so many handsy batters that are coming into the game. Like even Smriti Mandhana, I was talking about it earlier. It's almost like her hands do the talking at times. Like, yes, the feet move and get into great positions. But just beautiful hands, yeah. And Sophia Dunkley is another one of them.
I asked any comments because obviously it was very interesting to watch. I mean, with the hands and also with like this, I think Nasir Hussain, as he got really worked up with the England team's technique of that off-stump stance, etc. Right. So obviously, I'm assuming that the evolution, or at least, and I'm sure it's an ebb and flow of techniques, etc., it keeps changing. I want to talk to you about technique. The second thing that seemed pretty noticeable is because I think Smriti and Shefali have both played the Big Bash League, right?
Yes.
And that seems to, like, much like the IPL, prepare you for a big stage where you're not really, I mean, you're nervous, but you're not as nervous as maybe somebody else who hasn't. What do you think?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I mean, first, the point about technique and what Bharat has mentioned, everybody else has talked about. You have to have the grip, and you have to use your hand the way you feel most comfortable in. I remember, and there was a batsman who made his debut in 1989, and a lot of people said his grip is all wrong. His grip is wrong, and that batsman was Sachin Tendulkar, who is now seen as the epitome of technique. So yeah, I mean, what is classical technique has come down to us largely from the English manuals, but in Asia and in Australia, people have adapted and adjusted. Javed Mianda didn't have classical technique at all, but he's amongst the greatest batsmen that you've ever seen. While Sunil Gavaskar he was very orthodox and very English in his batting approach. But Steve Smith is hardly English in his approach to batting. In fact, he looks like some lobster or a crab is in the crease. The way his feet move and his hands move, and the ticks and the nervous ticks that he's got and everything. And yet, he's your most prolific batsman in the last 5-7 years. So I think right now, what the stage we've reached as cricket lovers and cricket followers and guys who live on cricket for a livelihood or rely on cricket for a livelihood, is that there is so much importance to be given to technique. Ultimately, technique is to be able to overcome the hardship posed by the bowler and the pitch. How you overcome it may be your individual style. Smriti Mandhana is an absolutely delightful player to watch. I would pay money to watch her make 10 or 12 runs. Is that kind of, she got the style, she got that almost lazy elegance, plays the ball so late. Unlike a Shefali Verma, who, you can call her buccaneering if you want to, because that's the way she plays. So, I think that the emphasis on technique is valid up to a limit. Beyond that, the only thing which is valid is the number of runs you make. How you make them as, there may somebody likes you, your style doesn't like, somebody else may love it, somebody may not. But if you're contributing to the team cause and you're making the runs which help you win matches, you make an impact. What more do you want?
And Saurabh, cricket's, in terms of being classical, it's changed not just on the field, but off the field as well. And you're looking at it. I mean, classical journalists look like Ayaz, sir, decently dressed. This is what modern day cricket journalists.
Come on, you want a wig for the show. Come on, remove your wig.
But listen, I like Jhulan Goswami, for example. I mean, my God, sorry, Ayaz, go ahead.
I just wanted to add, this is exactly, Bharat has actually proved my point. You don't have to look like a journalist to be a journalist. You can be a terrific journalist, even if you've got like plates made and you're tying up your beard in some scruffy style. It doesn't matter as long as you're doing a damn good job with your copy, which is what he does. So that's proving my point.
So sorry to digress again, Saurabh. You know what, Ayaz, sir, you're right. In 2011 in the West Indies, Praveen Kumar refused to talk to me. He would never answer my questions in press conference. And then Sriram Veera, my ex-colleague, was there as well. So he pulled him aside and said, "Kya ho gaya?" He's like, "Arey usko dekho, journalist lagta hai wo, mujhe pata nahi." So that's Praveen, coming from Praveen Kumar,
Your next book should be on Praveen Kumar.
Listen, Bharat, I've already said that if you write a book on Praveen Kumar, I'm buying 63 copies. I'm very fascinated by Praveen Kumar.